Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside Alumni Gymnasium on the campus of Norwich Free Academy for tonight's first round action in the CIAC Class XXL Girls Basketball Tournament between the South Windsor Bobcats and the Norwich Free Academy Wildcats. High above courtside, I'm Mike O'Farrell, and I'm joined once again by my partner, the coach, Chris Giusti. Coach, it's the start of the second season, or in some cases the third season. The second run to the sun starts now for all the teams across the state who are vying for a championship. And tonight we start off with our 10th seeded Wildcats hosting the 23rd seed Bobcats from South Windsor. They are members of the Central Connecticut Conference. Give me your initial thoughts on tonight's game, Coach.
Good matchup for Norwich Free Academy. You know, anytime you get a home game in the state tournament against a team that is unfamiliar with you and unfamiliar with the area, you can count a couple points on the scoreboard for that. So, you know, I always like that aspect of it. You know, there are some times, unfortunately, where you could possibly get matched up with teams that you've played in the regular season. In fact, the NFA boys are.
Right.
We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But, you know, whenever you have a team that doesn't know you, doesn't know the style of play, isn't always familiar with the route to the game, it can throw them off a little bit. And so that's my early thoughts, Mike, is that you can count a couple baskets in favor of NFA just for that.
Now, a couple interesting facts. Obviously, NFA, we played last week against Bacon Academy and Mohegan Sun in the ECC Finals. Lost that game, arguably the worst game the girls have played all year. Could not put the ball in the basket. Hold the team to Bacon in 37. You expect to come away with a win. They were unable to do that. But South Windsor hasn't played since February 18th, Coach. So they're going on almost 2 weeks. How does that work into, you know, their preparation and their planning? And, you know, do we expect to see cobwebs from them, or, you know, how do you coach that when you haven't played in 2 weeks?
That's tough. It's the unfortunate thing about the conference tournaments. If you lose early, you wait for a long time. Now, if you had an injury or sickness, that could be an advantage. I don't know all the particulars with the South Windsor team, but most of the time you want to keep playing and you want them to be in game-ready condition. So in that case, you want to try to schedule scrimmages against other teams that have been knocked out early in their conference tournaments, and try to scrimmage just like you would in the preseason. It really is, like you alluded to in the open, it really is like a second season. So just like in the preseason back in December, you're scheduling scrimmages, you would do the same if you had a long layoff from a loss in the conference tournament. But one little quick note, just to put a bow on that ECC tournament, Mike, Bacon Academy is really good.
They are a really good team.
I think, you know, sometimes you look at your own team's performance and look at only what you didn't do to the best of your abilities. But when I watched Bacon beat New London in the semifinals, and I called that game as well, I knew right away this is a team that is going to have to be reckoned with because they're so good. So I think you just flush that if you're NFA.
Yeah.
You lost to a really good team. It's not like you got upset. You lost to a really good team, and now you focus on making that trip to the sun once again.
Yeah, I mean, they beat Bacon in the first game of the year, but by no means would they have been, if there was a betting line, they would not have been the favorite. I believe that. But I think one of the interesting things about our team, when they faced adversity, there have been 2 instances of that during the course of the year where they've come back strong. I'm hoping we're going to see the same thing tonight. So just to set the stage a little bit for you, NFA 14-6 in the regular season. We come in 10th in Class XXL. South Windsor 11-9 in the regular season. They come in 23rd in Class XXL. They play in the Central Connecticut Conference Northern Division, where they finished 3-6 in the regional side, 8-8 overall, which includes their crossovers. One of the most interesting games for them is they lost a tough one to East Catholic, who's the #1 seed in Class MM. So this team can play. The winner of this game tonight will play Wednesday against the winner of tonight's game between Ridgefield and Darien. Ridgefield's the #7, Darien's the #26 seed. That game, again, also tonight, tips off a little bit later. And just for a point of interest, NFA lost to Ridgefield earlier this year by 4 points. So one of the things, too, that I think we're looking forward to from NFA is Coach Gomez has got probably her healthiest starting 5 in quite some time, Coach. Cece Atchison is back playing. She's had times getting practice in. That's a good thing. Jordan Baykent twisted her ankle a little bit, but she seems to be healthy. So I'm feeling like we're pretty good with the original starting 5.
Yeah, and that's, NFA had a little bit of a layoff as well. They did go as far as they could in the ECC, but haven't played since Wednesday, so they got a chance to rest up and had some good practices the last couple of days. So I think they're as ready as they possibly could be. Like you said, Mike, no injuries, no sickness, had a couple days to prepare, got a team coming in from a different conference, making a strange journey here to a place they aren't accustomed to playing. This is the Wildcats' chance to take care of business tonight, and all they need to do is survive and advance.
All right, let's meet the starters. First, we'll call up the starters for South Windsor. Number 3, Erin Martin. She's a junior. She's an all-league player for the Bobcats. Angie Santiago wears number 5. She was all-league player last year. Tegan Purcell, number 10, is a sophomore. Caitlin Bullock wears number 11. She's a senior. And Shea Brochu wears number 15, and she is a freshman. Meeting the starting 5 for your Wildcats, we have number 1, Jordan Baykent, a senior. Number 3, Brooke Stringer, also a senior. Number 11, Cece Atchison, she's a sophomore. Number 21, Sophie Miner, she's a junior. And number 33, a senior, Emily Orcutt, who is one of the co-captains along with Brooke Stringer. South Windsor is coached by Keith Rakowski. The Wildcats, of course, are coached by Courtney Gomez. I love the fact that her assistants are wearing women's basketball jerseys tonight. Courtney's father is wearing a Paige Becker's jersey, and Mr. Erickson is wearing a Caitlin Clark jersey. We're going to pause right now for the national anthem by Bob Maloff, and we'll be back after this. Bob Maloff, the voice of Alumni Gym for years, both on the PA and with the national anthem. We are about ready to roll here in first round CIAC Class LL action, your 10th seeded Wildcats versus the 23rd seed Bobcats. 2 games in a row where NFA is going against the Bobcats.
Well, that would have been quite the parlay. I don't know if I've ever seen Bobcats on the schedule twice in a row. I did not know there was another team with the nickname Bobcats in the state, so obviously never played against South Windsor.
There you go. South Windsor wearing their, what would you call this, little maroon and gold?
Maroon and gold, yeah.
Maroon and gold. Well, maybe USC colors,
Little
although it's a little too maroon. BC, yeah, BC, not USC. Wildcats in their home whites. Jordan Baykent will go up against Caitlin Bullock for the tip. Officials are ready to roll, and so are we. Let's get this game underway. Stringer off the early tip from Baykent to Orcutt. She's got Atchison, Orcutt, Bacon, and Minor with her.
Looking at a zone defense again, 2-3 zone defense.
Good ball movement on the outside. Cece's going to try three, no good. Emily pulls down the rebound. Back out to Brooke, and we restart. 7:30 left to go in the first quarter. Thought she was going to try it again. Inside it goes to Jordan. Jordan, nice move, goes up and in. Jordan Bacon, first bucket of the night for the Wildcats.
Yeah, patience, spun around. Good use of the pivot foot and the backboard by Jordan.
A little bit of pressure applied here by the Wildcats, something I think we're going to see more often than not tonight, as Coach Gomez wants to try to get some points off transition. Shot up and no good from Angie Santiago. She was pestered there by Sophie Minor. NFA basketball, exactly 1 minute played, and the Wildcats have a 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, the Wildcats starting in man-to-man, pressuring the ball. They want to force the pace, force turnovers.
Stringer, Minor. Orcutt and Bacon in their usual spots, trying to play high-low. There's Emily. Cece's going to try three. She doesn't get it, but Sophie comes down with a rebound. I know offensive rebound, a point of emphasis for Coach tonight. Skip pass across the zone. Brooks going to try three. No good. Good possession in terms of shots, just not good results.
Those shots are going to be open all night. So what NFA is going to have to make a decision. Are they going to play a game of horse? If those are getting knocked down, it's going to be a blowout.
Brooke Stringer on the pressure there, forces the ball loose from Martin. Brooke kicks it to Cece. Jordan wants to go to Emily, but she sees the spot, takes it herself. 4 quick points for Jordan Bacon, and that's an encouraging sign, especially given her ankle and getting her involved in the offense early.
Yeah, a little bit more deliberate that time, or a little bit more intense by the Wildcats to get the ball inside.
Not sure who this foul is on. They're going to call it on Stringer, which they're going to call it on Brooke Stringer.
Yep, that's what happened.
That's what happened. Whistle called, number 3 white. We'll leave it at that. And this is number 3 for the Maroon. This is Erin Martin. She's an all-conference player. 3-on-3. This is Bullock. She traveled. Good defense forces the turnover there for the Wildcats.
So good man-to-man so far. South Windsor looks a little out of sorts. Don't really know what they're trying to get for a shot yet. Maybe trying to feel out the defense.
Stringer to Minor. CC running from side to side. Looking inside to Jordan. She gets knocked down. No call. Brooke for a 3. 3 points for Brooke Stringer. And it's a 7-0 lead for your Wildcats.
Yeah, and if those threes are falling tonight, it's not going to be much of a game for South Windsor, and NFA will be very happy.
Well, that's the only 3 that's fallen so far. Here's another turnover. Sophie to CC, and she'll go to the line.
Good transition, offense, defense to offense. The steal, CC running the floor, getting up ahead of the pack. Draws the foul, gets a chance for 2 free throws.
That foul's on number 15, Shea Brochu. That's her first, team's first. Cece's going to go to the line for 2. Makes the first. Had a little bit of a health concern with Cece. She sat out the game and tried to make her way back, and I feel like she's got her legs under her now, and this is a welcome addition to this rotation, that's for sure.
Well, she gives them another ball handler, so Stringer doesn't have to work as hard.
Second shot's no good. Looks like we've got a jump ball situation, which is going to go to the Bobcats. Jordan was tied up there with somebody else. So it's 8-0 NFA. 5:16 left to go in the first, and the Wildcats still in their pressure.
Yeah, a little 2-2-1 here. Trying to make South Windsor use the pass to beat it, which they do.
That's Santiago. That's Brochu, the freshman. She's got Atchison and Jordan on her. Loses a handle. Sophie Minor comes up with it. What's Sophie going to do? Gets it over to Brooke. Brooke finds her way inside, and she's going to find herself at the free throw line.
couldn't draw it up much better if you're Coach Gomez for this start to this game. The pressure is working. You got a couple shots inside. You got some offensive rebounds. Even a three-pointer fell. So everything working right now for the Wildcats, and South Windsor wants to talk it over.
30-second timeout by the Bobcats. That foul was on Angie Santiago, number 5. That's her first. It's going to send Brooke Stringer to the line. So I'm hoping tonight, Coach, the boys, as we mentioned, are playing down in Madison against Daniel Hand. They tip in about 20 minutes. We've got sources down there who have promised to keep us abreast, at least at the quarter breaks with a score. Opening round action for them against a team that they were able to beat, upset actually down there early this year. So we'll see what Coach Brown's team can do tonight.
Yeah, and the NFA boys, very dangerous first round opponent, not only because they have already beaten Daniel Hands, so they feel confident, but I just feel like the way they've been playing over the last few games, they're just bursting with confidence, and confidence in the postseason is a commodity, Mike. You need that.
You also need Brooke Stringer to keep hitting these free throws. There's one, gives her 4 points. Wildcats have a 9-0 lead, 4:53 to go in the first. Stringer's about to take her second. Brooke nails them both.
You know, the winter season is such a long season.
It really is.
That if your confidence starts to crack, then you start looking ahead to spring season, and you're not going to be able to get the best out of your players.
Tegan Purcell has her shot blocked. Back come the Wildcats. Sophie Miner inside to Emily. Nice pass into Jordan. Jordan can't get it to go, but that was a good-looking play there. Again, this unselfish play of those posts. Emily with a great pass to Jordan, just didn't fall after hitting her first 2 shots.
Yeah, it doesn't look like South Windsor has many answers for the 2 post players. They're just trying to pack it in and put as many bodies around them as they can.
This is Bullock. This is Martin. She's got Stringer on her. Gets it over to Brochu. Atchinson's on her. Sophie Miner's giving Angie Santiago fits. They're going to call that on Sophie, I believe. They are. That's her first, but what a foul. I mean, I like that foul, making that kid work.
A little bit of a tight whistle on the on-ball defender, so you got to make sure you keep your hands off. They're calling slight hand checking.
Yeah, and it's the same foul on Stringer, so we're just going to say it is what it is, right? Because
that's what we
got to do. Got to adjust. Shot doesn't fall for Brochu. NFA comes down with it. Stringer sets the offense up on this side. Orcutt, Miner into Bakent. Jordan loses a handle. It's going to be South Windsor basketball. The Bobcats still looking for their first basket as they trail 10-0 with 3:46 left to go in the first.
Just that little too high on that pass from Sophie.
I just encourage that they're looking. Pressure defense here by the Wildcats. Miner and Stringer playing hard, both with one out front. Santiago gets it across. That's Purcell. She's got Orchid on her. She's going to launch a 3. She's going to make a 3. Tegan Purcell, sophomore, first basket of the game, cuts into a 10-point lead, makes it 7.
Good looking shot from Purcell, straight on.
Stringer, Miner. Emily Orcutt has not taken a shot yet tonight for the Wildcats. Inside it goes to Jordan, outside to Emily. Pop from just inside the free throw line, no good. Nice battle there by Jordan again. Saying alternating possession going to Bobcats. I thought we had it.
And we do. The referee keeps a whistle in their pocket, and they switch it from pocket to pocket. That way they don't have to rely on the scoreboard operator being correct.
Well, these are the nuggets that we expect and we get from you every time. Love it. Ball's loose on the floor. Wildcats retain possession. Nice pass from Stringer to Orcutt. Emily's going to draw the foul from behind there.
Jordan's been extremely active on the glass. Another missed shot from NFA. Another offensive rebound for the Wildcats. Jordan's been active on the glass early.
Tegan Purcell picks up that foul for South Windsor. Atchison takes the inbounds. And I missed Savannah Guernsey checking in for NFA. She replaced Sophie Miner. She wastes no time in trying a three. That's no good. Here come the Bobcats, trailing by 7, trying to cut into this 10-3 lead with 2:35 left to go in the first quarter. I tell you what, Caitlin Bullock thought she had a wide open layup there, and Jordan Bakent gave her another idea.
Jordan playing extremely well.
Petra Berry comes in for NFA. She wears number 5. She's going to give Emily a break. South Windsor having a tough time getting it in. They do get it in. That's Bullock. She kicks it out to Brochu, who steps back. I'm sorry, that's Purcell. Tegan Purcell had made their one basket, a three-pointer earlier. She had her eyes on it again. Just a little happy feet. So for the Wildcats, Atchison, Stringer, Bakent, Berry, and Guernsey. The original 5 in for South Windsor. Guernsey, Stringer. Need a little more space in there between Petra and Jordan. Kicks it out to Cece. Shot clock's at 15, plenty of time into Jordan. She was looking for Petra and she just lost her footing.
Yeah, bobbled the ball.
Caught in between a little bit there.
Yep, bobbled it and caused her to take an extra step. Second turnover for the Wildcats.
Pressure on here, full court once again for NFA, trying to cause some havoc, get some points in the transition game. This is 3-on-3, Martin and Stringer. Purcell. Santiago. Martin. Brochu. Santiago tries to get it inside to Bullock. She does. Caitlin Bullock gets the shot up, and that's going to fall. And now it's 5 points in a row for the Bobcats to cut this original 10-0 lead in half with 1:30 left to go in the first quarter.
Good persistence that time from the Bobcats.
NFA scoreless here for a couple of minutes, trying to get something back. There's Atchison on a feed from Bakent, and Cece's going to get herself to the line for 2 more shots.
Persistence from Bullock on the last possession. Jordan had her locked up. Actually attempted a 2-point swat, got a piece of the ball, but Bullock was able to get it up and bounce it in.
Cece misses the first. She's 1 out of 3. Emily Orcutt checks back in. She's going to replace Jordan. Good minutes for Bakent. A few offensive rebounds, 4 early points. Cece makes the second. She is 2 for 4 from the line. And it's 11-5 Wildcats with 1:10 left to go in the first quarter. That's a tough call there.
Well, they're calling it.
I know,
but that's, they got to make that
you
adjustment.
got to make the adjustment. You're right. You're right. That's the first one on Atchison. She's going to take a seat. Kendall McCrae, the freshman, wears number 15, is going to come in, give Cece a break, and make sure she doesn't pick up that second in the first quarter. Brochu, freshman for South Windsor, tries to go reverse, but Emily blocks it away. So we have 2 freshmen in the floor right now, both wearing number 15, Shea Brochu and Kendall McCrae. Emily over to Guernsey. Savannah pops from about 12, and she gets it. Nice basket, Savannah Guernsey. 4 different Wildcats have scored. 13-5 is the lead. Oh, in and out. Caitlin Bullock, tough break there. Found her way on the baseline. The ball just wouldn't roll. Stringer to McCrae, back to Stringer, Guernsey. 15, McCrae's an outside threat. There's no question about that. She's ready. Inside it goes to Petra. She's trying to get it to Emily. No go. Brooks going to launch a 3. That goes wide. Emily with the rebound and the bucket. Emily Orcutt's first basket of the game. And it's back to a 10-point lead for the Wildcats just as the first quarter is about to expire. Shot off the rim, no good from Erin Martin. 15-5 NFA at the end of 1 quarter. Certainly started off really well for NFA. They ran off 10 straight. South Windsor came back with 5 straight. NFA came back with 5 straight. And 5 NFA players scored in that first quarter. Your thoughts, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like we always say when we see the NFA girls play, when the shots are falling, it looks like nobody can beat them, and then they go through these stretches where it seems like the lid is on the basket and there's no possible way they're ever going to score again. Early on, I thought this was going to be, blowout city. It still may end up being that, but South Windsor scratches back with a couple baskets, and at least they're within an arm's length right now. If NFA hits a couple outside shots like Guernsey's jumper that she just hit a couple possessions ago, if they hit shots like that, it's going to get up to a big lead quickly.
Nobody in foul trouble. 4 players for South Windsor have 1 each. 3 players for NFA have 1 each. Brooke Stringer, Cece Atchison, Sophie Miner. More importantly, the 3 bigs, have none. So that is a good thing. Looks like the original starting 5 is on the court for the Bobcats. Number 3, Erin Martin. Number 5, Angie Santiago. Number 10, Tegan Purcell. 11, Caitlin Bullock. And number 15, the freshman, Shea Brochu. NFA's freshman number 15, Kendall McCrae, Petra Berry, Brooke Stringer, Savannah Guernsey, Emily Orca. Shot clock's at 20. Purcell's going to launch another 3. No good. Emily knocks her down on the box out. Gets the student section awake. Guernsey's going to kick it to McCrae. Launches a 3. Kendall McCrae. That's why she's in the game, Coach.
She can shoot it.
18-15 Wildcats.
Only the second 3 of the game for the Wildcats. They're now 2 of 8 from beyond the arc.
The fact that they've taken 8 is impressive. Yeah, Petra Berry, I thought Petra was locked up. Petra literally couldn't go for the rebound because she was locked up, but that doesn't matter. Berry's first, NFA's first of the quarter. Martin's going to trigger inbounds for South Windsor. She gets it to Brochu. Petra back on her, as is McCrae. Bullock launches from the free throw line. Caitlin Bullock's second basket of the game, 18-7. Just about a minute played here in the second quarter. Stringer. Guernsey's going to launch 3. Savannah no good. Petra right there for the rebound. The foul, no good. Tough opportunity there for Petra Berry. Had the rebound, and I think she picked up her second foul in the process. She did. So she's going to take a quick seat with 2 fouls. Jordan Bakent's going to come in the game. Cece Atchison's going to come in the game, give Brooke Stringer a break. So for the Wildcats, Guernsey, Atchison, McCrae, Bakent, and Orca.
A lot of trust that Coach Gomez is showing in her young guards. 2 sophomores and a freshman fill out the guard rotation right now with the 2 senior forwards in there.
I hope they adjust to this tight whistle, as you call it.
Is there another way to call it?
I'm just going with what you said.
I don't know.
I've been accused of being NFA's Johnny Most, so I'm going to be careful.
No, well, I mean, what else would you call it?
And for the record, Johnny Most has broadcasted from NFA in the past in the old Norton Gymnasium. Shea Brochu scores that bucket for South Windsor. It's now 18-9 with 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. Did you know that Johnny Most called games from Norton Gym?
I did not. That's a nugget.
Back in the day for WICH. Nice pass in there from McCrae to Bakent, back to Atchison. Still looking to get the bigs involved here. The shot clock's at 10. Guernsey to Bakent. McCrae's going to launch another 3. No good. Emily keeps it alive, but into the hands of Angie Santiago. And South Windsor's going to try to make this a 7-point basketball game. I feel like even though it's 9, we're ahead by more. And actually, this is going to make it 7. Nice shot there from Caitlin Bullock. She's got 6 points, leads all scorers. Coach Gomez calls a timeout. 18-11. A 6-3 run so far in the second quarter for the Bobcats.
3 straight possessions with a made basket by South Windsor after shooting 2 of 9 in the first quarter. They're 3 of 5 this quarter.
And Coach, how much of this is based on, figuring out the gym and the team and just, you haven't played in 2 weeks and you know, if we saw them play a slow first quarter, is that typical what you'd see from a team that hasn't played in 2 weeks? It's playing in a gym they haven't played in before.
100%. And that's why you can't count your chickens here. If you're NFA, this is going to be a grind. You know that you have trouble offensively. You got to keep playing defense, commit to making them take tough shots. The last couple possessions, they had a couple wide open jumpers and an easy layup with no help side D. So got to commit to the defensive end. That's probably what Coach Gomez emphasized, and she made a substitution, brought Sophie back in for defense.
And I'm going to want to see Emily Orca take some more shots. That's Atchison on the rebound. That can't go. Bay-Kent offensive rebound, and Jordan's going to get herself back to the line. So Guernsey's three-pointer. Atchison's rebound, no good. Bay-Kent rebound, back to the line. Foul is the second one on Shea Brochu for South Windsor, and Jordan's first attempt at the line tonight. Nice touch.
3 times at least in this game, NFA shot a three-pointer from the left side and has had an offensive rebounder wide open on the right side. So sometimes your best offense is a missed shot. They just got to cash in those offensive putbacks.
Speaking of missed shot, Bay-Kent misses the second, 19-11, 8-point lead for the Wildcats. 5.5 left to go in the first half. Martin, Atchison takes it right from her. CC loses the ball on the sideline. It will remain Bobcat basketball. 21 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Santiago will inbound. We've seen no subs yet for South Windsor.
Iron 5.
This is Martin. She's got Brooke on her, 3-on-3. Brooks forcing her to go to the left. Emily is on Purcell, and Sophie Miner makes herself known at the top. Sophie goes in for the layup, no good. Rebound, Bay-Kent. Jordan doubled, somebody's got to be open. Emily finds Atchison, who finds Miner, who finds Bay-Kent. Shot blocked. Sophie Miner, 12 feet, air ball. Tough possession there for the Wildcats.
3 shots, 3 misses. Got to get a stop.
4:38 left to go in the half, an 8-point lead. South Windsor's looking to get to within 6, which they haven't seen since the second minute of the first quarter. Wildcats get some shots dropping, and we're in a different situation. This is Bullock. Brochu launches a 3. Shea Brochu, the freshman, and she cuts it to a 5-point lead halfway through the second quarter. That's a tough pass from Miner. Ball's turned over. Emily couldn't handle it. Erin Martin, offensive foul. Intriguing. That's her first.
Intriguing.
Intriguing. I wasn't expecting that.
I think we got shielded. She must have pushed off with
Must
the
have
off
been
hands.
the shield. Yep.
South Windsor just packing in this 2-3 zone, so that allows their players to rest a little bit.
But we're getting the shots, Coach. They're just not
yeah.
falling.
And that's been the story of this season.
5-point lead for the Wildcats, trying to expand it to 7. CC trying to make it 8, and she does with a 3-pointer for CC Atchison. That's her 5th point of the night. 8-point lead for the Wildcats. 3:34 left to go in the first half. Bullock had the ball tipped and then throws it away. Atchison's going to go to Stringer. Brooks going to try to draw some contact and a free throw. Doesn't. Gets her own rebound. Back to Atchison. Inside the arc. No good. Rebound, Brochu. Wildcats are getting their shots. Bullock has Bay-Kent on her. Jordan tries to knock it free.
Jordan's got to be careful with the hands there.
Well, we've seen a tight whistle tonight.
They let her play that time, I'll tell you that. She got her money's worth.
Shot clock's hit a dozen. Brochu working on Atchison. Gets the ball to Bullock. Jordan's going to get called there. I believe it's going to be on Jordan. Jordan's hot. Team trying to calm her down a little bit.
That was definitely a foul. If she didn't foul her there, she fouled her.
Well, she fouled her 3 times.
Fouled her first, 3 times she touched her.
I mean, it is what it is there. Caitlin Bullock, the leading scorer for South Windsor, is at the line. She has 6 points. It's the first foul on Jordan, 4th on the team. Bullock makes the first, gives her 7. So coming up at halftime, I believe we're going to see a brief routine by our cheerleaders, and then we're going to have an interview with NFA head of school, Dr. Nate Quinnell.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah. He says he's coming up. I don't see him yet, but I did remind him. All right, 15 for the Bobcats, 22 for the Wildcats, 2:40 left to go. We're up 7, and I feel like we're down 5.
Well, I mean, this has been the type of game that NFA has played for the majority of the season. We had some games where they had some nice big wins, comfortable wins against Stonington and East Lyme, but most of their games have been
uncomfortable.
Grind them out affairs.
That's a long ball from Guernsey. Stringer there for the rebound. Atchinson's going to try another 3. Back rims. Ball's loose. We did get our first sub here for the Bobcats. I believe number 12, Isabel Zubin, is in. There's a long 3 from Tegan Purcell. That kid can shoot.
She absolutely can shoot. Wow.
22-18. They've cut it to 4 with 2 minutes left to go in the half. Emily Orcutt needs to touch the basketball. She does. Shot's no good. Atchison gets the rebound. Going to be a jump ball on the floor. Going to stay NFA ball.
Another offensive rebound. NFA has found a sweet spot.
Well, they got to make some of these shots, though, Coach.
Yeah, that right block, they're getting tons of offensive rebounds. But like you said, Mike, you don't get points for rebounding. You don't get points for steals. You get points for baskets.
That's why we have you here, for this type of insight.
Well, I mean, I think that's why, like, especially in high school basketball, a lot is overanalyzed about this, that, and the other. Scoring, especially I've noticed this year on the boys and girls side, scoring has been at more of a premium than it has been in quite some time. And I don't know what the reason for that is, but when you have a ECC girls final that ends 37-27, it's not like Bacon was shooting the lights out either, so if you make shots, we saw NFA against Fitch in the semifinals of the ECC tournament.
Fitch had 1.
Stringer made a bunch of 3s early, and NFA was able to exhale, and they clamped down, but they still only scored, just over 40 points. So once again, NFA on pace for around, 44, 45 points. That's kind of their MO all season long. If they get 50, that's usually a win.
And in that game against Fitch, Fitch only had 1 point in the first quarter. Emily gets caught in midair trying to make a decision there, a turnover. So it was 15-5 at the end of the first quarter, and a 13-7 difference here in the second quarter in favor of the Bobcats has turned this into a 10-point game to a 4-point game, with a chance for South Windsor to cut it to as low as 1. With the way Tegan Purcell. So Brooke needs to remember that same thing was a foul earlier, and that's her second.
And that, unfortunately, is the 15th foul. That's not a good foul, Michael.
We have not seen many teams going to the free throw line due to foul trouble throughout this season. So this is Erin Martin. She's an all-league player for the Bobcats. She's going to get 2 shots to try to cut it to a 2-point game, and she coolly sinks the first one right in front of the NFA student section, who was encouraging her not to make the first one.
Kendall McCrae comes back in because Stringer has 2 fouls.
She does. She also has 5 points, so that's an offensive piece that we're going to miss, but she can't risk getting her 3rd foul. Martin makes them both, and what was once a 10-point game is down to 2. 22-20. Orcutt, Atchison, McCrae, Guernsey, and Bacon. 1:35 left to go in the half. Wow.
Call a block on cutting off the baseline late.
Tight whistle.
It absolutely is, and you know, you get referees from a different board when you have state tournament games. So these referees aren't from the CCC and they're not from the ECC. So we can try to find out at halftime what board they're from, but they're going to call a game much different than either of these teams have probably seen. McCrae's open.
And she hits nothing, right into the arms of Atchison, who gets it to Orcutt. Tegan Purcell, McCrae's going to try again. Same thing, another pass to Atchison. Emily's underneath, and she's going to go to the line. Tegan Purcell, number 10, who's hit both of the three-pointers for South Windsor, picked up that last foul, her second, and she's gone to the bench to avoid getting a third here at the end of the quarter. I thought we were going to the free throw line based on that last one. I was off one. So it's the second foul on Angie Santiago, fourth on the team. NFA will shoot going forward, but now Atchison's going to trigger the inbound, kick it all the way out to McCrae. Guernsey traveling. Hard to believe that South Windsor can come down with a score here and tie this game.
NFA is going cold again. Missed their last 7 shot attempts.
Martin has McCrae. That's Brochu on Atchison. Just under a minute to go in the half. CC forces Brochu to pick up the dribble. That's back to Martin. McCrae forces her left. That's Bullock. Santiago. Santiago launches a three. It would have given them the lead. CC comes down with it. We need a basket here. Wildcats with 35 seconds left. Savannah Guernsey, I tell you, that's her second shot from almost that exact spot. And that looked pretty, Coach.
Well, Savannah has no conscience when she shoots.
She really doesn't.
She has a bad memory, which is what good shooters have to have.
Baykent with a steal here into Atchison. Can she get it up to Guernsey? Clocks at 10. Savannah, another bucket, pushes the lead back to 6.
No
5
foul.
seconds left in the half. Let her shoot. Bullock. Wow. Caitlin Bullock with a big bucket there for the Bobcats to make this a 26-22 NFA lead at the half.
You see that South Windsor does have some players that can shoot the ball, so we're going to have to make a better effort finding people in transition. That time a little scramble. Maybe they thought somebody was going to take a half-court heave. Lost. There was plenty of time left. No panic from the Bobcats. They passed the ball up. Got a relatively easy shot attempt to end the half and cashed it in to cut the deficit to 4.
So Caitlin Bullock, who made that bucket, she has 9 to lead the way for the Bobcats. Tegan Purcell has 6, Shea Brochu has 5, and Erin Martin has 2. On the other side for NFA, Emily Orcutt only has 2 points. That's something that has to change in the second half. Kendall McCrae hit 1 3-pointer. Cece Atchison hit a 3-pointer and 2 free throws to give her 5. Brooke Stringer has 5. Savannah Guernsey leads the way with 6. And Jordan Baykent has 5 points, including scoring the first 4 of the game. So we are expecting head of school Nate Quinnell, but I don't see him. So we might be having our own discussion here, Coach, as we are in halftime. Our boys have just gotten underway in Madison at Daniel Hand. Expecting to get some updates from that game. We will share them with you when we have it. But in the meantime, here we are. So you were up as many as 10, and now you're up by 4. What's the message? They're getting shots. They're causing turnovers. What's the message from Coach Gomez?
Defense, you can't harp on the offense. You know that the girls feel the pressure of wanting to make those open shots. You don't want to pile on and put those thoughts in their heads. We're getting good shots, keep taking them, hold your follow through, and keep crashing the offensive glass. That's about it on offense. Defense, you can do a lot better at finding shooters, playing defense with your feet and not your hands. The referees are calling it tight, so you can't push. Maybe you got to give an extra step, when you're out on the perimeter. The luxury now, you want to pressure the ball and try to get turnovers, but like with the shot clock, South Windsor can't milk the clock forever.
Right.
So if they want to be patient and deliberate, they can only do so for 35 seconds. So you don't necessarily have to guard all the way out beyond the volleyball line. You could pick up a little bit later and avoid getting the nickel dimers. But really, South Windsor has come back in this game with shooting proficiency. They were 2 of 9 in the first quarter, up that to 6 of 9 in the second quarter. So they're 8 of 18 for the game, and 3 of 7 from beyond the arc, 3-point range.
8 of 18, that's just shy of 50%.
Yeah, and NFA has gotten their money's worth shooting the ball, Mike. They've attempted 42 shots.
Wow.
Only have made 9, so only 1 more field goal than the Bobcats. 3 of 16 from 3-point range.
25% overall for NFA. Dr. Quinnell is making his way up now. So we're going to have
glad he wore his South Windsor maroon.
Yeah, it's the first question I'm going to ask.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
No, that's why you're the top reporter in the business.
That's why I'm not going to let him off. Yeah, not going to let him off this. So, here we are. Head of school, Dr. Nate Quinnell, joining us up here. And now I'm actually not sure you should be here when you're wearing the enemy colors, Coach.
There's a wardrobe malfunction this morning. It's a good point.
Did you not get the memo? We were playing South Windsor.
I figured I could wear this and inspire our kids all day long. Maroon was not the right choice today.
We were walking around, and they hate that color. So maybe it was a good ploy.
I do take Coach Gomez is doing a wonderful job, but I definitely think this kind of like the waving of the flag, the Bulls, definitely got him going.
Well, look, it's a much closer game than we were expecting, and Coach Juicy and I have been chatting about that. But what's new and exciting for you here at the Rose of New England?
Hey, listen, so many things, and obviously tonight getting a chance to see our Lady Wildcats get after it and compete, and of course our boys down at Daniel Hand. It's hard not to turn a corner and not run into something you're excited about. But
breaking news: NFA boys up 10-9 after the first quarter. By the way,
hey, we'll take it. Double it for second quarter.
There you go. So let's talk about international students and how we've seen this on the rise quite a bit, and just with the environment that we're in, the importance of finding a way to bring these kids to NFA going forward. Thoughts, comments?
Yeah, I think the world is finding out what the Norwich area is known for a long time, is that NFA is a wonderful place to go to school, to learn, to make friends, and to grow. And as we've seen the numbers escalate well in excess of what was pre-COVID numbers, we're really gratified by that. Next year we're projecting over 105 students here, private, international, and our hockey students. And our greatest limiter right now really is where do our kids sleep? And as you know, we're very fortunate to have some amazing host families. So if anybody listening wants to host a 16 or 17-year-old student that's going to bring joy and laughter to your dinner table, give us a call.
Did you think that when you took this job, you'd be walking across campus every day and finding kids from Kazakhstan and Spain and Vietnam and Finland and Norway and wherever else? we've got them. I can't even name all the countries.
No.
There's so many of them. What does it do to the environment here to have those kids with our kids?
Yeah, I think obviously we live in a global world right now, and when I sit in my third channel class and I'm next to Majid, who's from Kazakhstan, the only I knew before I came to NFA about Kazakhstan is Borat was there. So
right.
It's great to meet Majid, wonderful young man, and I think it really opens up our eyes to what's around us in our world. It exposes to culture, it exposes to language, exposes us to different perspectives and ideas, and it's also really neat to see how our kids impact them. And when you watch our Canadian hockey players, full-throated fans at our games, you realize that it's a mutual experience.
And then you talk to some kids and all they want are peanut butter and jelly and macaroni and cheese, right? Like that's their big discovery of of New England.
Hey, listen, that is a beautiful thing, you know.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
So, you're no stranger to the basketball court. We ran out to a 10-point lead. We're struggling to hold a 4-point lead right now. What are your thoughts on the second half?
Yeah, I'm sure I'd pay a lot to be a fly on the wall in that locker room with Coach Gomez. I'm sure she's going to come out strong, come out aggressive, and come out hard. I think our team is exploring who we are constantly. Jumped to that big lead and then, of course, coughed it back a little bit. But I feel good about it. Felt we dominated the ball. And
we took 41 shots. South Windsor took 18.
Hey, listen, the way they say, you can't make anything. You never can make a shot you don't shoot. So
good.
We're exploring that fully.
We might need a third headset up here between you and Juicy with these nuggets.
I'm very good at short bursts.
Juicy says tonight the key is to score more points than the opponent.
Yeah, I've heard if you score more points and then you win. I've heard that's the theory of basketball. That's about as far as I can take it. But
well, look, I appreciate the brief time up here and giving us a little peek into your world. And here's hoping the boys continue to do well in Madison and the girls continue to do well here tonight. And who knows, maybe with some upsets, we got another game coming our way.
You and Juice have done an awesome job with this all season. And for the games I can't make, I sure do appreciate the opportunity to listen to your expert analysis.
We love getting the added viewership from Portland, so thank you for that.
Always.
Helps us with our marketing plan going forward.
Oh, we're on.
Head of school Nate Quinnell joining us here at halftime, where the Wildcats hold a 26-22 lead over the Bobcats. Coach Juicy will be back after he takes his little break, and we're going to get ready for the second half. We've seen a great deal of offensive rebounds by NFA. We've seen a great number of shots. Obviously, we need to see a little bit more proficiency, as Coach Juicy referred to earlier, and we need to put the ball in the hoop. Defensively, they've done a nice job, although South Windsor has come on and been more efficient with their offense. But, as we've said, you got to score more points than the opponent. That's how you win. Coach, I don't know if you heard, but at the end of one in Madison, the Wildcats 10, the Daniel Hand Tigers 9.
Wow.
Another low-scoring game. It was 48-44 the first game.
Yeah, if you told me 10-9 NFA after one, I thought you would be talking about a girls' game. That's a traditional score for our girls, but yeah, I guess they're gonna play it down to the wire. Our NFA boys rely on the three as well, so you wonder what the three-point shooting percentage is in that first quarter. But we got a good one here. And as we said in the pregame, no matter how it looks, all you got to do is win this game by 1 point and get to the next round. Doesn't have to be pretty, so right now you got to be gritty. Get a stop.
Stop and a score.
And just get the ball back. Just get a stop and get the ball back. Just keep it simple.
Original starting five for the Bobcats: Martin, Santiago, Purcell, Bullock, and Brochu. Original starting five for the Wildcats: Bacon, Orcutt, Stringer, Atchison, Minor. My prediction for the second half is Emily Orcutt has to become more involved in the offense. We are not going to win games with her scoring 2 points. Jordan Bacon makes her presence known again on the inside at the start of the half, much like she did at the start of the game. Atchison's going to launch three off the glass, no good. Rebound to Martin.
Another missed three. That's 3 of 17 for the Wildcats.
We are launching. There's no question. I just want to see the ball go inside a little bit more. Brochu tries to work around Bacon. Long range. I believe that's Santiago. Angie Santiago, her first bucket of the night is a three-pointer. That's the fourth one for the Bobcats, and it's a 26-25 lead.
Yeah, inside-out three is the best three. They're squared up. Just have to rise and fire.
Bacon facing double team inside. Brooks going to launch three. I don't know, Coach. I'm feeling like we're launching too much here right now. 6:44 to go in the third.
It's just too tempting. I mean, they're being left so wide open.
That should be a travel, but it's not. Erin Martin comes away with the ball. Cece Atchison comes away with the ball. That's going to be a foul. If that's on Purcell, that's a big one because that's going to be her third. Waiting for the official count. Looks like number 10 it is. Third foul on Tegan Purcell, who's hit 2 3-pointers. Coach Ruskowski, I'm sure, is going to keep her in for a little bit here. He's made no move to the bench. And the Wildcats looking to get on track offensively. It has been a struggle. They're getting the shots, they're just not falling.
You gotta hit that post player when they flash right away. You can't wait.
Skipping the ball over the top. There's Emily. Wow. That's her first. Not going to say anything else because you're going to yell at me if I do.
Yeah, board 10 officiating crew out of New Haven. So SCC conference.
Full court pressure here from the Wildcats, who, if South Windsor scores, will trail for the first time in this game. Santiago launches a 3, no good. Minor loses a handle on the rebound. Orcutt cleans it up. Atchison, Minor thought about going ahead to CC, but she smartly pulls it back to Stringer. CC to Brooke, launching 3. I'm struggling with this, Coach. South Windsor basketball.
NFA's got to start to make sure that they're focused and not worried about the officials' calls. They got to keep their composure here.
It just seems like it's a concerted.
That was
definitely the third foul on Brooke Stringer. Body block. It just seems like the Wildcats are settling for the first open shot they get, and in many cases it's the 3-pointer. And to your point earlier, at this point I think South Windsor is going to let them take it until they make a couple.
Absolutely. Why would you change the defense? That's probably what their whole game plan is. Don't let Orcutt beat you.
Guernsey checks in, replaces Stringer with the 3 fouls. Somehow Angie Santiago comes down with the rebound. And that is Caitlin Bullock, who is the leading scorer in tonight's game. And the Wildcats are trailing 27-26. First time all night we have been behind. We have got to get back to what got us here. Sophie Minor. Here comes South Windsor. Oh.
Body first.
Body first, then ball. It's going to be the second foul on Minor. .454 left to go in the third. It's a 27-26 game in favor of South Windsor. I believe it's Brochu. I couldn't tell with her long hair. Shea Brochu, number 15, is at the line for 2 shots. Try to extend this to a 3-point lead. First shot is up, and it goes. (28-26). 6 straight points here in the third quarter for the Bobcats. Make it 7. And that's 7 points for Brochu. Biggest lead of the game for South Windsor with 3. What are the Wildcats going to do now? They're going to continue to shoot outside. And Emily's going to get the rebound and dump it in. I'm saying it right now. We do not win with Emily Orcutt not active in this basketball game. 29-28 Bobcats. 4:30 to go in the third quarter.
Crowd's starting to get into it. They need them.
That's a travel.
Yes. All 3 of us had the call right.
I know. I'm not sure the fourth one did. But 3 of us did.
3 out of 4 wins.
Student section starting to show. Give a little bit of support here to the Wildcats.
They need it. The girls need it. Keep it loud.
Minor, Guernsey, Orcutt. Back to Savannah. Savannah takes a runner through the lane.
Can't. That's a frustration foul. You just got to get back on D. Now that's your 4th team foul, so South Windsor is going to shoot on any foul the remainder of this quarter, almost
halfway through.
More than halfway, right, more than half. of the quarter remaining. So
it's a second foul on CeCe Atchison, but you're right, that's not the issue. The issue is South Windsor goes to the line every whistle from this point in.
you got to keep your hand out. Not necessary. Not necessary. Picking up too deep or too close to half court.
So that's going to be the first on Guernsey, and it's going to put South Windsor to the line.
And they're good free throw shooters, so.
This is going to be Martin, who has been here twice, and she's made 2, as they try to expand this from a 1-point lead to a 3-point lead. Erin Martin makes the first. Petra Berry is going to check in for NFA. She's going to replace Jordan Bacon.
South Windsor 5 of 5 from the charity stripe this quarter.
Make that 6 of 6. 7 of 8 overall. 31-28. 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Wildcats need to find some rhythm here offensively, and it needs to start inside. Guernsey. Loose ball on the floor.
Frustration foul again. Another trot to the free throw line for the Bobcats, and NFA is going to call timeout.
She's got to. It's the second foul on Orcutt, and we're trailing by 3 here about little more than halfway through the third quarter. What started out as a 26-22 halftime lead is now 31-28. So it has been 9-2 here in the third quarter. All South Windsor.
I'd think about going zone here for the remainder of the quarter. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're talking about now. The pressure defense, which was plan A, is not working. Got to go to plan B at this point, and especially because of the foul trouble, the team foul trouble, and no individuals are really in foul trouble, but the team foul trouble with South Windsor shooting on every common foul for the remainder of the quarter. I think you want to go zone. You want to try to make South Windsor have to think about what they're going to do and hope they miss shots and get rebounds. At this point, you're not going to get the turnovers that you were hoping for. All you're getting is foul calls, which is 2 free opportunities at the line for the Bobcats.
Halftime score out of Madison. Bad turn for the Wildcats. Hand 26, NFA 16. So 1-point lead is turned into a 10-point deficit.
So that score would tell me that NFA is not shooting the ball well either.
Right.
As another free throw has gone in, an incredible 7 of 7 from the free throw line this quarter.
Make it 8 of 8. Erin Martin has 6 points, all from the line, and the Wildcats are down 5, which feels crazy to say.
And it feels like a lot more than 5 with the way that the shots have been falling, or have not been falling, right.
Let's get back to our bread and butter here. Orcutt's going to launch. She's going to miss, but a good shot. Loose ball picked up by Brochu.
Got away with one there, Sophie. I think they're going to go to the zone. Let's see.
I don't think so.
Nope.
Nope.
Some confusion. Nobody knows who they're guarding.
Santiago launches a 3. Atchison comes down. 3 minutes left to go in the third, trailing by 5. This is almost a must-score possession for the Wildcats. And CeCe takes it right in the middle, and as if she was listening to me, Coach.
Well, they should be, Mike. They should be.
3-point lead for South Windsor, 33-30. Time for the Wildcats to settle in, settle down, and let's go.
Hands off, step off. No need to put your hands on them.
Brochu goes under baseline. She's got Minor.
Keep your hands off.
There's Guernsey. That's Martin.
Straight up, straight up.
Shot clock's at 10. Bucket. That's number 10 again. Tegan Purcell. Inside, outside. She's got 8. CeCe goes right back to where she was, and she's going to get pushed from behind. They don't believe it on the South Windsor bench, but that's only their, I don't know if they already put it up for us, second foul. But that is the third on Shea Brochu, number 15. Minor checks out, Stringer checks in. Another sub coming in. This is Isabel Zubin, number 12. She's going to replace Brochu. Santiago's going to adjust to the top of the zone. Looks like a 2-3 for South Windsor. Orcutt on the blob, shot up, no foul. Rebound, Emily tries for it. South Windsor comes away with it. 2:07 left to go in the third. This is a 5-point lead for South Windsor. They have outscored us 13-4 in this quarter. There's a turnover, Wildcat basketball.
Yeah, just let South Windsor make mistakes.
Right.
Don't. That's why I was thinking maybe go to the zone, but a little bit more passive on the man. Didn't try to reach. Let them try to make the mistakes. Don't initiate the contact yourself on defense.
Got to get a bucket here, Wildcats. Minute 30 now, minute 35, I'm sorry, in the third. Trailing by 5. Guernsey's going to drive.
Call foul.
Tight whistle.
Break.
That's what I've heard.
It's a break for the Wildcats. Could have
been a travel.
Yeah, could have went either way. That's 3 team fouls though. So
second foul on Erin Martin. An interesting Brochu comes back in with 3. Stringer inbounds, Orcutt, Atchison. She has Guernsey and Berry.
NFA's got to keep attacking the basket like they just did the last 2 possessions. Put the onus on the referee.
Stringer launches 3. That's no good. I'm at a loss for why we're launching 3s. You're right. It's so tempting. Bodies on the floor. Stringer, Emily from about 16. That's no good. Stringer just can't take a chance to go in there. South Windsor makes this layup. They go up 7. Shea Brochu. She gets her 9th point of the night, and the Wildcats all of a sudden are facing a huge deficit of 7 points. It would have been completely unexpected about a half an hour ago. Cece's going to launch 3. She's going to hit 3.
Needed it. Needed it.
Her second of the night. That gives her 10. It's a 4-point lead with 30 seconds left.
Get a stop. Shot clock's off. No foul here. Force a contested shot. No bumping.
She knew it too.
They
call that.
They gotta call. They gotta call that. And I know
they should have called the other one.
Yeah, I know Coach doesn't like it, but like the way that this game has been called, they're not gonna stop calling that now. So there's no need.
And because of the foul trouble, it puts Erin Martin at the line where she has made 6 in a row to try to give her team a 6-point advantage. She makes the first. Impressive to see a kid go 7 for 7 from the line. If she makes this, it'll be a 6-point lead with 17.8 seconds left, and the Wildcats will have a chance to try to cut it back to 4. Martin makes them both 39-33.
Automatic from the free throw line, South Windsor this quarter, 10 of 10.
Clock is inside of 10. And we're not going to get a shot off, and Guernsey's going to put him at the line.
Wow.
Savannah Guernsey's third.
This is like when you're at the casino and you keep betting on a certain color or a certain number, and you keep getting the other one. The other one keeps coming up. I mean, it's just the fouls.
Shea Brochu is at the line. She's 2 for 2. She misses everything on that one. There's 5 seconds left, so there is a chance for NFA to get off a shot. They trail by 6. However, if Brochu makes this, they're going to trail by 7.
Whoever opened up that window, thank you.
She 2 air balls. Made her first 2 shots. That's incredible.
Those weren't even close.
All right, so we escaped there. We're only down 6. Could have been down 8 based on their free throw shooting. We got to get a bucket here, and you got to run.
Attack.
Cece gets off a 3-pointer, no good. Wildcats are going into the fourth quarter trailing 39-33. It was 26-22 at the half. So that means it was 17-7 for scoring in that quarter for South Windsor.
Yeah, a three-pointer, two two-pointers, and 10 free throws. 10 of 12 from the free throw line. NFA had a couple of twos and a late three by CC before that last miss. And no free throw attempts. That is the big story in this game. 0 free throw attempts that quarter from NFA and 12 free throw attempts from South Windsor that quarter.
And I can't, normally I would try to say, okay, there's an obvious difference there, but I don't think there was an obvious difference. NFA, is not adjusted to the tight whistle, and they had too many, and it put them on the line too often.
And conversely, when NFA is on offense, they're settling for threes.
And they're not good. Nobody's going out to guard.
Yeah, they're wide open. There's no chance for there to be a foul. So NFA is 12 of 55 from the field for the game.
It is potentially the final 8 minutes of the season. So what do these Wildcats have in store in these 8 minutes, trailing by 6? Getting the basketball, you got to come out with a bucket. Guernsey, Bay-Kent, Orcutt, Stringer, and Atchison. I think they've got to recommit to the inside, not this long-range shooting. But we'll see what happens. Stringer's wide open. Emily's wide open from the elbow. Good.
Good start. Good start.
Stopping a score now. Stopping a score. 39-35. Student section trying to get them going. Loose ball. That's going to be NFA basketball. That should be NFA basketball. But it's not. I am the Johnny Most of NFA. Santiago's going to inbound for South Windsor. She gets it to Brochu, who falls. Wow, managed to keep the dribble. That was an impressive move right there. Back to Santiago through the legs. Bay-Kent's on her, mismatch. CeCe's got the steal, uncontested layup. CeCe Atchison, what a great play there. 39-37, cut it to 2.
Just the start the Wildcats needed.
2 buckets inside the first 45 seconds. Let's get another stop and another score. I don't mind that foul.
CeCe lost her man. Got to see ball and man. And she didn't see the back cut.
That's her third. It's going to send Tegan Purcell to the line, where she has not been here yet tonight, but she has made 2 3-pointers and another basket. Her team is ahead by 2 with 7:04 left in the contest. She misses the first.
Wow, so after making 10, let's see, they've made
10 straight, they missed 3.
Going back to the first half, they made 12 straight. They've now missed 3 in a row.
Purcell gets 1 of 2. It's a 3-point lead, 40-37. We've played 1 minute in the fourth. Atchison, Guernsey, Emily. CeCe's going to try 3. She's going to rim it. Jordan tries to keep the ball alive, but Purcell comes down with it. Just want to see the ball go inside.
Just got to sprint back, though. You can't pick up fouls here. You don't want to be in a situation where you already got 1 team foul. You don't want to be in that situation again where South Windsor can dictate what they're going to do because you can't play any kind of aggressive defense.
And we've got Guernsey, Stringer, and Atchison with 3 apiece. Nice cut there. Shot too much. CeCe pulls down the rebound. Wildcats with a score here will either get it to 1 or tie it. Savannah's going to try to tie it. Emily with the rebound, and she's going to go to the free throw line.
As long as you're crashing the boards, those threes aren't the worst shot in the world, but you got to keep crashing and getting offensive rebounds.
That's 4 fouls on number 10, Tegan Purcell. I believe she's going to go out at this whistle, and Orcutt's at the line for 2. Emily back rims the first. Purcell is going to go out. Isabella Zubin, the only sub we've seen from South Windsor, who's playing mostly in iron 5 with a 6th when necessary.
NFA has attempted 25 3-point shots.
Orcutt makes 1 of 2. It gives her 7 on the night, and it cuts the deficit to 2 with 6:05 as the Wildcats come out in man-to-man pressure.
Keep your hands off. Keep your hands off.
Let them make the mistakes. That's a travel. There's one of them. Student section getting fired up, trying to help the Wildcats here. 5:55, triple fives on the board, trailing by a deuce. Stringer. Jordan. She was looking to get it to Cece, couldn't get it to her. Guernsey's going to find herself at the line. No, she's not. Wow.
Gotta get to the next play. Gotta get to the next play. I know it's hard, but it's a 2-point game. No foul here. Don't get over aggressive. No foul.
Erin Martin launches 3. No good. Rebound, Baykent. .5:25 to go. Wildcats still trail 40-38. I just feel like this has to go inside.
Jordan's open.
In and out. Nice shot. No rebounding. After great offensive rebound in the first half, we've seen that disappear here a little bit in the second half as we're now down to 5 minutes left in the contest. Nice pass there from Santiago to Zubin, but she's got a difficult shot. Ball between her legs, body's on the floor. Martin.
Yep.
It's a 4th on Savannah Guernsey. It's going to bring in Sophie Miner. Why we're not getting a horn here, I'm not sure. There we go. Savannah's going to sit down with 4. Sophie's going to come back in. She has 2. Shouldn't really be an issue. Shot clock is reset to 35. Martin trying to get the ball in bounds. I feel like that's 5 seconds, and it is. So we have another chance. This is our 3rd opportunity in a row to tie this game. Where are they going to go with the basketball?
They should be going to number 1, right inside. Let the offense start there and then operate after that.
But Atchinson's going to launch a 3. Jordan gets her hand on it, and no offensive rebounds.
26 3-pointers attempted by NFA. They've made 4.
Not good at math, but that's not good. 4.5 left to go in the ball game. Brochu, she's got Stringer on her. That ball's knocked out of bounds. Coming to NFA. Nice call there, coach. And this is 4 possessions in a row where we can try to tie this basketball game.
Got to go to number 1 immediately when she flashes to the foul line. Right here.
1-33.
Right there. Got to get her. Oh, now she's holding. She's setting the screen.
Goes to Orcutt. Misses. Atchison, loose ball. Defensive team rebound. I can't argue with that play.
No, you got to live with that. Well, let's live with that for the rest of the game. And if we go down with Emily and Jordan shooting mid-range jumpers, then we go down that way. But 26 threes, making 4. It's not the way to play the rest of this game out.
South Windsor still holds a 2-point lead. They've held it for 4 straight possessions. They have not expanded it, nor have we cut into it. Santiago tries to make it a 5-point game, and she calls bank. That's her 2nd 3-pointer of the night. So now it becomes a deficit of 5 with 3.5 minutes left. Unexpected situation here. Stringer's going to try to get it back down. She can't. Atchison, go right back up, CC. Baykent, she's going to try to drive,
Great
pivot. No good. Own rebound, Jordan Baykent. First bucket since the first quarter. Timeout on the floor, 43-40 with 3:05 left in the game.
Not many people in this gym, and there's no offense, but not many people in this gym or watching know how hard it is for a high school player to make that move that Jordan just made.
Right.
That strong pivot move is the result of endless hours of practice, coaching, drilling, and she's only going to get better because she has the aptitude to even learn it.
Right.
Only shows how high her ceiling is. Like I've said before on previous broadcasts, she's only scratched the surface of what she's able to do. And they just got to keep feeding the ball inside to Emily and Jordan. Grind it out here. Still a lot of time left.
43-40, 3:05 left. The Wildcats have 2 timeouts. The Bobcats have 3 timeouts. The possession arrow is going in the South Windsor direction. And the Wildcats are going to come out with some extended defense here.
And Coach Gomez has taken Jordan out, so going to go a little offense-defense.
Yep.
Got a little speedier team in here with 4 guards and Emily.
Well, it worked in the first half. So let's see what happens here. Martin, she's got Stringer on her, brings it over with no problem.
And I've been impressed with the ball handling of South Windsor. You know, they have some young players out there, but they haven't been fazed by this ball pressure.
That's a nice cut there to get the ball down to Brochu, who can't make it. The Wildcats have a chance to cut this to 1 or tie it with 2:40 left. Minor, Guernsey, Orcutt, Stringer, and Atchison. We've got to get the ball in Emily's hands. Guernsey's going to take a 3, no good.
The problem is now, you know, Jordan just made that great offensive move. He tried to play offense-defense.
And she's not in there.
Yeah, there was no whistle for a change, and you couldn't sub her back in. This has been the longest we've had with no whistle in quite some time.
Not sure how that happened.
What are they going to call here?
That has got to be a South Windsor foul.
Emily got away with the secondary blow, but I thought there was a foul on South Windsor first. Let's see what they decide. Yeah, they're going to call it on red because initially she went into Emily. Emily told her kindly to get off of her, and
was it kindly?
she received, well, I thought it was kind.
I looked kind to me.
It could have been much worse.
We've seen that.
We've seen much worse.
So it's the 3rd foul on Erin Martin. Each team only has 2 here as we're at the 2:05 mark. So plenty of fouls to give on both sides. 2 minutes left. We're down 3. Baykent, they're going to call that foul and send Jordan to the line. And the South Windsor coach is apoplectic.
No, that was I was surprised it wasn't called sooner. It was a little bit of a late whistle. There was arms all over her wrists and elbows. Good pivot. Were able to get Jordan in because of that foul call on the previous possession.
So that foul was on Bullock. That's her second. Jordan to the line. She misses the first. She's 1 of 3 so far tonight. She needs this one to make it a 2-point deficit. There's 1:58 left on the clock. Coach Erickson in the ear of Coach Gomez with some advice over on the bench. Jordan's second one is good. And in comes Minor, going to replace Jordan for the offense-defense, as you so aptly discussed earlier. 43-41, 1:58 left to go. Bobcat basketball. Wildcats need a turnover and a score. And Brooke Stringer, I thought, had it right there. Offensive possession here for South Windsor. Martin, Orca gets her hands on it. That's a travel that wasn't called. And Guernsey is going to get fouled there.
And that'll be the 4th on South Windsor. So now the opposite of what happened in the 3rd quarter. NFA will be in the bonus for the remainder of the quarter.
3rd foul on Angie Santiago, but there's only 1:43 left to go in the game, and the Wildcats trail by a deuce.
Eternity in a basketball game. Eternity.
Guernsey, Stringer, Baykent, Orcutt, Atchison. NFA needs a bucket. They've got to tie the game here. Stringer's going to try to put him ahead.
And she does! And she does, Michael!
I'm almost speechless, Coach. Almost speechless.
No foul here. Got to get a stop. No foul.
44-43 Wildcats. A minute and 18 left. There's a turnover. Let's run the other way. Cece with the layup. Oh, is going for the bucket and the foul. She's going to get to the line for 2. Wow.
3 straight turnovers by the Bobcats.
It's going to be the 4th foul on Martin. Minor checks back in, or will after the first free throw. Cece is going to be at the line for 2. She's been here 4 times tonight, and she's made 2 of them. We would love her to make 2 of them now and make this a 3-point game. This is the first. Miners in for Bay Kent, the offense-defense. Coach Gomez giving some words of wisdom to Brooke Stringer. 1:12 left in the game. 3 timeouts for South Windsor. 2 timeouts for the Wildcats. And there's a second shot from Atchison to put the Wildcats up 45-43 with a minute 12 left. Brooke needs to get away from that. Timeout on the floor, South Windsor. Wow. We were just down like a million.
A million?
Didn't it feel like a million?
Well, I didn't know the scoreboard had that many digits. I thought it only had 3. But
didn't it feel like a million?
It felt like a lot. It didn't feel like a million. I never was worried because this is the type of game NFA girls always play.
I should be used to this as well.
But, you know, you got to find a way to make baskets. This little mini run by the Wildcats started with that beautiful drop step post move by Jordan.
Right.
And that really ended a drought of scoring for the Wildcats. They have now made their last 2 field goals, only 2 of their last 4 free throws, so could cash in a little bit more on the free throw line, but they have the 2-point lead, so now they can dictate what they want to do here on defense. They have some fouls to give, so they don't have to be as careful playing defense, but you don't want to just foul.
Right. Well, let's
give South Windsor a chance to get closer to that bonus.
Well, and let's look at the fact that South Windsor has 3 kids on the floor who have hit 3-pointers. Brochu, Purcell, and Santiago. Update from Madison. NFA has cut into the lead. It's now a 6-point lead for Hand, 36-30, going into the 4th quarter.
Oh, that one's going down to the wire, too.
So it looks like NFA got a little bit hot there in the 3rd quarter. And we need NFA to get hot here in this last minute and 6 seconds. South Windsor's going to inbound the ball, trailing by a deuce, 45-43. Martin loses the handle. Wow, that's been a travel in every other game. I guess it's not in New Haven. Martin. That's a backcourt. That's a backcourt in New Haven, in Norwich, in Nova Scotia, and in Nairobi.
They play basketball in Nairobi.
They sure do. 54.4 left. Wildcats up 2. Bay Kent in the offensive defense substitution.
That's 4 straight turnovers. Sorry, Mike. 4 straight turnovers for the Bobcats.
Atchison, Bay Kent, Orcutt, Guernsey, Stringer with a 2-point lead. Don't stop the offense here. Am I right?
Don't need a quick shot, though. You want to use clock.
Correct. Shot clock's at 24. Game shots at 42. Into Jordan.
Timeout. Good timeout by Coach. I thought maybe Jordan slid or pivoted.
It did look like that.
So you want it, 20-second differential. So if the Wildcats take it down, to the last 5 seconds, 5 to 7 seconds, take a shot. Crash for an offensive rebound. You get an offensive rebound, it'll be pretty much a free throw shooting contest at that point. Even if you don't get an offensive rebound, you have fouls to give. You can foul them. There's a lot you can do. You want to use clock here as much as possible.
So just some
excuse me, Mike,
yeah.
Sorry, just let me finish this. But you also want to get a good shot. So it's like you don't want to just dribble it out to 1 and heave up some wild shot. So if the best shot presents at 9 seconds, that's fine. I think anything from 10 on, you take the best shot available.
So it's 45-43. NFA has 1 timeout left. South Windsor has 2. South Windsor has committed 5 fouls, so NFA will shoot no matter what. We have 2 fouls to give. There is 38.9 seconds left in the game. There's 20 seconds on the shot clock. So we have 18 seconds here, and the alternating possession goes to South Windsor.
If you get a layup off this blob,
You take
inbounds, you have to take it. Yep. Good. Dribble it out.
Shot clock is at 15. Shot clock
Jordan.
is at 10.
That's it. Yep.
She's had 3 of those all night. Emily with a huge rebound there. That's going to stay right here. I tell you, that's a great rebound for Orcutt.
But that's what I was talking about. You take a shot late in the shot clock, you get an offensive rebound. Now it's a free throw shooting contest. Emily at the line with 2, and
That's the 5th foul on Erin Martin, so she has committed all the fouls she's allowed to commit. She finishes the game with 8 points, all at the free throw line. Orcutt's going to be at the line.
so this is a weird, rule. They get 30
Yeah, I hate
seconds.
this. I
and
hate this.
It's not supposed to be a timeout. The coaches are not supposed to be, on the court, and both coaches are on the court, so. But the ref's showing some leniency because it's a state tournament game.
So really, Orcutt, who has 7 on the night, she's 1 of 2 from the line. We need her to make 1, right? We need this to be at least a 3-point game. She makes 2, it changes dramatically for the Wildcats with 23.5 seconds left.
Well, if she makes 1, then Coach Gomez has some decisions to make. Do you want to foul?
Right.
South Windsor, will they even try to attempt a 3? Will they try to attack quickly? If she makes both, we're in really good shape.
First one drops. Friendly bounce on the home rim. 46-43. 23.5 seconds left. Shot is up, front rim. Oh, that's going to be NFA basketball. That's a huge possession there. Team defense and rebound, up 3 now. 46-43 with 21.6 left.
You want Jordan back in here? Do they want Jordan back in here?
Yes, they sure do.
I think Courtney was all the way down the sideline. The assistants didn't know, should we send her? They just made the executive call to send her. She's open.
And there it is on the inbounds pass. Atchison, there's no rush here. We don't need to shoot.
Yep, they got a
17
foul.
seconds left.
South Windsor
and
had
there
a
comes
foul.
the foul.
Yep. Good decision by Jordan. I mean, in any other game, she's shooting that.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
That's the out of bounds play, and she's accustomed to making that shot. But good decision not to. CC can ice it here with 1 of 2.
Well, it's
Not
not
yet.
going to be the first one.
Not yet. Got to keep us in suspense here.
That's her 7th shot from the free throw line. She's made 3. She's split her pairs every single time. She gets that one.
No foul, no foul.
4-point lead. Let them go down and
Yeah,
shoot,
no
right?
Foul, no foul.
Oh, I mean, they have one to give.
Yep. They had 2 to give.
Right. That's Guernsey's 5th. Breaking news out of Madison. Wildcats just took the lead 37-36.
That's going down to the wire. That's going down to the wire.
As is this. We're coming up on the 7:30 mark with 10.5 seconds left in a now 4-point lead for the Wildcats. Should be, do you foul one more time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to because you want to save that for if you're only up 3.
Right, and I mean the pressure is on South Windsor.
That's
They
what
need
I'm
to get
saying,
4
yeah.
points, right?
I don't want to put myself in a situation where a common foul gives free throws. I want to let it play out and them have to make a difficult shot. Even if they make a 3, they're going to have to foul us. But, I mean, this is why, it's hard to be a coach. There's a lot of decisions that have to be made here that can be second-guessed, questioned. Other people would do things other ways. Whatever your philosophy is, you got to be confident in your own philosophy and stick with it, no matter what it is. If Coach Gomez's philosophy is we're going to foul late in the game when we have fouls to give, then you got to stick with that philosophy.
And we're going to see exactly what that's going to be with a 47-43 lead. Each team has one timeout left. NFA shoots no matter what. They have one foul to give. The alternating possession rule goes to South Windsor. Orcutt, Baykent, Minor, Atchison, and Stringer. South Windsor, Santiago, Brochu, Bullock, Zubin, and I believe Purcell. They're going to take the ball in the backcourt. The clock is at under 10. Brochu has Minor on her. The clock is down to 5. A three-pointer from Santiago, no good. Wow. 47-43 final. A crazy, crazy game for the Wildcats.
But expected nothing less.
Score more points than the opponent.
Expected nothing less. You always see a grind out. It's not pretty, but it's gritty. And that's yet another grind it out, get it done win from the NFA girls. They were 5 of 27 from the three-point arc, but they made the last one.
They made it when it mattered. Coach, I know you have to attend to some off-site dealings. I believe Coach Gomez is going to come up, and we're going to find out how she's feeling after this. And the girls travel next, most likely to Ridgefield, unless Darien pulls off an upset tonight. But what a game for the Wildcats. And, before you head out, Coach, it's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure,
It's been a pleasure
Michael,
to do 9 games. There's 10 games with the playoffs.
Always a pleasure to do these games with you, and always a pleasure to watch the NFA boys and girls play. They've played hard, and they've played their hearts out all season long.
Coach Gomez is making her way up. And, I'm almost kind of exasperated, not going to lie. We're going to see what she says. Don't forget your picture and your card, Coach, to take with you. And, what a game for NFA. The scoring for South Windsor, 6 points from Santiago, 8 from Martin, 9 from Purcell and Brochu, and 11 from Bullock. And Coach Courtney Gomez is here. Look, I'm just going to tell you, I felt we were up $1 million. I felt we were down $1 million. And somehow, you guys pull it off. Somehow, this team, as Coach Giusti said, it wasn't pretty, but it was gritty.
It's the tournament. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter how you win. At the end of the day, a win is a win, and it means you're moving on to the next game. And we started off great. You couldn't have asked for a better start.
Right.
But they shot in the first half. They just couldn't miss.
Right.
And I didn't necessarily think we were missing assignments. It's just they hit some really tough shots, and they had a great defensive game plan, and their kids are tough. Like we always struggle a little bit against teams that can shoot and that are pretty quick. But I thought that the biggest part of growth at the end of at the point where we were down 5, I think, I can't remember.
Yeah.
We could have folded.
You could have.
And we could have played afraid to lose.
Right.
And I think we just talked in the timeout about this is your opportunity. All the work you've done on your mental toughness and your competitiveness and understanding that basketball is a game of runs and how you don't fold when that run happens, and you've got to come back in and either get a really good defensive possession and good rebound and then have a good offensive possession. And they answered the bill, and then they had some big shots. I mean, Stringer's three. As soon as that went up, I thought to myself, come on, basketball gods, give us one.
Give that kid one.
Right.
And,
but we had tough performances from, Savannah, Guernsey, who's just been stepping up big for us the second half of the year. And, Jordan and Emily, even though they didn't get as many opportunities at the basket, I thought they still battled. And then, honestly, defensively, they had to play outside of their comfort zone
for sure.
And I didn't want to go zone because I was too worried about giving up threes.
We talked about that in terms of when you start to get in the foul trouble. Like, do you try to let them make the mistakes?
Yeah.
So, all right, real quick, you've played Ridgefield. Presumably Ridgefield beats Darien. You played them early. You lost by 4.
Yeah.
This is a winnable game if that's where it goes, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we saw them when we were on our 3rd or 4th game of the season, and we just weren't ready to handle their defensive pressure. But, you know, I know Rob, him and I go way back. He's a great coach. They're always on top of the FCAC. So he'll have a defensive scheme to make us work all night, but I do think that we are a much different team now than we were back then, and I like our chances. It's going to be a battle every single game is.
Always is.
But one thing we do have going for us is that we know how to play in those games now. You know,
Yes, you do.
so I'm happy for them. I'm especially happy that they won their last. Most likely,
Unless we
their
see a
last
crazy
home
win.
game as a senior, yeah.
In our last game here, Coach, thanks for getting up here quickly after every game. I know the team's back out on the floor. I'm sure you want to talk to them. Appreciate you being here. What
Thanks,
a win.
Mike.
What a night.
Yeah.
47-43 for the Wildcats. Just to run down the scoring for NFA, Guernsey had 6. McCrae had 3 off the bench. She hit a 3-pointer. 8 points apiece from Jordan Baykent, Brooke Stringer, and Emily Orcutt. And Cece Atchison led the way with 14 points for the Wildcats. And just to keep you abreast on what's going on with the boys team, they are in Madison at Daniel Hand. They were down early. They fought their way back. They now have a 2-point lead with 3 minutes left, so maybe it's a double win night for the Wildcats. It's been a great season for us to bring these games to you. We appreciate you, whether you're watching this live or watching it later tonight or next day. We're just glad that you're checking it out. And can't do it without Mark Betancourt here pushing the buttons for us, and Dan Simino earlier in the year, and a lot of help and contributions from a lot of people to make these happen. And tonight, the Wildcats escape with a 47-43 point win. They will play Wednesday night. If Darien upsets Ridgefield, it will be here. And if Ridgefield holds, they will make the long trip to the New York border for round 2 of the playoffs.